Right now, let's take a look at our team matchups here in Fantasy League One as we move to that board and take a look at the team's rank and file, of course, against the FaZe Clan. But a couple of big matchups here. Graham Barfield's B team, who has been on a roll as of late. They're going to be facing, the Oracle. Candace Patton, who of course got back on track last week. And then we have the Fantasy Footballers and their tough matchup as well. But let's talk about Team Hollywood. Going up against AEW this week. How you feeling? They got Russell Wilson.
I'm excited. They've got Russell Wilson. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve, Kareem Hunt being one of them. So hopefully what Taylor said earlier was correct. I'm excited. I got Marlon Mack going. I've got David Johnson.
David Johnson says that he's going to play.
He says that, but I'm worried with the Kenyon Drake. There's a whole issue there. So I might flex, him, or I haven't decided yet. I might change that. But either way, it's going to be a really good lineup, and I'm excited. And they talk so much smack that it'd be really great to beat them. It'd be really great.
I think the biggest key is the Golden Tate versus Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, that's going to be a little tricky.
Who do you like in that one? Because I feel like Golden Tate is somebody that this week going up against the Jets, who have allowed the second most fantasy points to slot receivers.
Which I feel like it's a good play.
That's huge. I mean, Golden Tate's in a good spot. Plus, no Evan Ingram this week. He's already ruled himself out with a foot injury, so that means there are more targets to be had for Golden Tate in this offense. I mean, I think it's going to be between him and Darius Slayton to get a lot of those pass attempts. I guess Saquon is in there too as well, but
Golden Tate is clearly the number one receiver,
I like
number one
Tate
target
this week. Yeah.
And Emmanuel Sanders has played pretty well ever since he's been traded over from Denver, so that'll be interesting to watch how that plays out. MG, you were talking about, we could talk a little bit, thank you. I could talk a little bit more about Emmanuel Sanders. I thought that this is a rescue job for him. He was sitting there doing the right thing, playing in Denver. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm a professional. I'm going to do my thing now. All of a sudden, he's with the San Francisco 49ers.
Not a bad team to get traded to.
Right. There with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think there's a great opportunity. I have no hesitation in getting him into my lineups. But Marcus, I wanted to talk about your matchup. I know you were talking about this before in our production meeting. You were a little worried,
concerned,
going up against Charles Melton this week. He's 2-7, but that is not a bad roster that I'm looking at.
Not a bad roster. I mean, buys have hit my lineup really, really hard. I mean, you see I'm starting Kalen Ballage. Jacoby Brissett has a nice matchup, but I'm not 100% sure that he's going to play. I mean, JuJu has not performed well. It is not a good look for me this week.
Who struggles less this week, OBJ or JuJu?
I'm going to say JuJu struggles less this week. He's got an okay matchup. I mean, he's playing the Rams, so maybe he'll want to take it out on his hometown team, being from Los Angeles and all. We'll see if that happens. But Odell's got the Bills, and for a while their run defense has been sort of pliable the last few weeks, their pass defense is still pretty good, and especially if OBJ gets shadowed by Tre'Davious White or something like that, that might not work out well.
Not to mention, there seems to be a little bit of turmoil between
drama
between OBJ and Baker. We saw last week that OBJ kind of got frustrated
with
Baker when he was wide open.
I can't get a pass.
Went huffing and puffing off the field. We've seen this story happen before. He's getting frustrated with his quarterback. While it did work in Minnesota with Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs getting frustrated with their quarterback, I don't know if Baker's going to take that as well as Kirk Cousins.
Well, he said this week that he wants to pepper OBJ with targets as much as possible early in the game to try to get him going. And I think that anybody who is starting OBJ would certainly feel that way.
Was it full beard Baker? Was it Fu Manchu Baker? Or was it the down
on
his luck detective mustache
wispy
Baker?
I do think that people were taking his beard a little out of proportion.
Yeah, but shaving it 3 different times.
We're trying to talk about my matchup now. So if we can move to that, your commissioner, your 8-1 commissioner going up against the FaZe Clan, who is going to be starting your guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, and of course my team getting Mike Evans. Well, no, I have Mike Evans. Getting Cooper Kupp back, I should say, and Latavius Murray. I'm running
up this lineup on Bipocalypse, man. This is like a death lineup.
It's not bad. It's not bad, and I think that I'm going to be ready to drop a little bit of a pipe bomb this week, dropping some knowledge on the FaZe Clan. Can we show that photo that Tommy G hooked up? Yeah, buddy. You have to be, this is a pretty deep wrestling cut. I think that anybody who sees the Macho Man photos, they're like, you get that. This is a deep album cut. You have to be a hardcore wrestling fan, so big thanks to to Tommy G. But let's talk
Still
about.
waiting, Tommy. Still
You know what?
waiting.
Let's skip that topic. Let's go to your matchup.
Still waiting, Tommy.
And you've got Kane Brown.
I do.
And you know what? There was an ice bath.
Oh, I want to
time?
see it.
Is it time to take a look at Taylor getting
Oh,
ice?
I'm still cold.
Man,
I still have chill bumps. I
sumo
literally
soup
went
didn't feel
home
so bad.
and sat in the shower. My water bill is through the roof because I was
All
so
right.
cold, chattering all night.
Well, let's take a look at the video right now. Can you cue that up?
Chattering.
We want to take a look.
This is what happens when your commissioner lays down a decree. We answer that challenge. Was I slapped in the face by the fantasy footballers? I was not. You know why? Because I won. That's what I wanted you to do. I'm trying to inspire you. I don't want you to be starstruck anymore. So unfortunately, you're getting iced. And this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Three, 2, 1. Oh my gosh! I'm going on the air! I'm going on Fantasy Live! I got a show to go on! Ah.
How you feeling, Taylor?
Really chilly. Just a little chilly. I feel inspired. Like Adam said, he inspired me.
See?
Oh my gosh. How did that
Props to
feel?
you though for taking
Yeah,
it like a
it was
champ.
Actually,
You're
really,
covered.
really
For
cold.
taking it like a champ.
I was not expecting it to be that cold, but you know what I noticed in that video is that you were one of the first ones to bail because you're
You're-
so worried about yourself getting wet that he couldn't even finish off the trash
as a
bag.
gentleman, I
As
felt
a
like you.
gentleman.
I feel as
so
though,
convenient the way that he just fills
You know,
the narrative
I
with
felt
something
like
that
you
makes
had-
himself look good.
I felt like you had suffered enough, and I didn't want
No,
to add
he didn't.
insult to injury, and I just thought I was doing the right thing.
He was filling the trash bags beforehand, extra ice, extra ice,
Was
extra
I?
ice.
I don't remember doing
It
that
didn't
at
look
all.
that bad.
Oh, I saw him. Oh,
Yeah,
did
it
it
looked,
not?
yeah, it
I
didn't look.
mean-
I'll put you in an ice bag.
No, it was no big
Says
deal.
broken hand Ricky over
I
here.
know, I'm like, I
All
need
right,
an ice
now what we need to do now is one of our favorite segments here on NFL Fantasy League One. It's called Experts versus the Magic 8 Ball.
I love this
And
one.
we will be giving some analysis and some predictions that you guys have asked us, and we will see if the Magic 8 Ball agrees with us or not. And we will be keeping track, as we always do. And if Magic 8 Ball is right and you are incorrect,
Get $1 million.
you are going to get a tattoo. No, a bag over your head at some point during a show. No.
Wait,
Do you want a tattoo? Fine. Okay, you know what? Tattoo.
Wait, a
Tattoo
bag?
for Taylor.
Bag
The rest
over
of
your
the-
head.
gonna stay
The
with the
rest
bag
of
Of
on
us.
course,
my
he
head.
looks at me while he says that too. He's like, "You're gonna get a bag over your head."
I mean, it's not the worst
All right,
thing that
Smart
could happen
Alec,
in
why
this
don't you
show.
start off? The first question is for you. Will Kareem Hunt top 15 fantasy points in his
Well, no, you have to answer
2019
it
debut?
first.
What do you think? Will Kareem Hunt top 15 fantasy points in his 2019 debut?
Yes, last year, 2018, which was the last time that he played, he was a top 8 running back. He finished as the 8th most productive running back last season. He's now had plenty of time to rest. The Browns could certainly use a little bit of help right now. I think that it's going to really dip into Nick Chubb's targets and carries. I think that Kareem Hunt is definitely going to finish this week. Also, the Bills have allowed the 3rd most points to running backs since week 8.
All right, well, what does the Magic 8 Ball say?
Cannot predict now.
Shake it
I
again. Cannot predict now.
Cannot predict
Okay,
now.
then you automatically
No.
lose. Hand it
See,
over.
he's
Get
rigged
the bag.
me.
Get the bag. Taylor,
Get
you
the
gotta
bag
shake
now.
it. Your little frail arms, like, shake the ball.
This is
great television.
really working. Walshies, this is.
I'm
You
trying
act like
so
we've never
hard.
done this
Without a
segment.
doubt.
Okay.
Without a
Okay,
doubt.
Magic
See?
8 Ball agrees. Hand it over. Erica, will Dak Prescott score more fantasy points than Kirk Cousins this week?
Definitely. I think Dak has been on fire. He's been getting over 20 fantasy points per game. The Vikings, they're okay, but with no Thielen and all this kind of stuff, blah, 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 yada, 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 Dak's going to score more.
Yeah, and I just don't think that the Vikings.
Kirk
are still
Cousins
gonna-
has had a heck. I don't feel like people give him enough credit, though. He's had
He doesn't deserve it.
a lot
That's why he
of
doesn't
games
get
with
it.
over 300 yards. Even when he lost last week, he still had a great game.
Did you
His
just say
passer
yards?
rating. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Uh-oh, what does it say,
What
Ricky?
does it say, Ricky?
Yards. What'd you
Talk
think I said?
about You know, and I was giving Taylor a lot of.
I know, it's
You're giving her
hard.
some
Thank
grief
you.
there.
You have to hold it
Adam's
flat.
probably
You have to kinda hold
rigged
it flat
just like he
there,
rigs
yeah.
everything else.
Better not tell you now.
That doesn't
Okay,
seem good
This
for
is
you.
this is a dumb idea.
Eight Ball's disagreeing with
That
you.
seems like a no.
Will Mark, we've done this plenty of times. How are you not getting
I
this?
know.
Will Mark Andrews outscore Austin Hooper this week? I say absolutely not. Austin Hooper has been one of the best tight ends in fantasy football. And over the last couple of weeks, over the last, pretty much the entire season, when they get near the red zone, Matt Ryan has been absolutely locking in on Austin Hooper, whereas Mark Andrews has not really been a big part of the passing offense for the Baltimore Ravens as of late. And last week, their blocking tight end caught a touch. You're like, hey, Mark Andrews. Oh, wait, that's not Mark Andrews. That's the other guy. And so I say it's Austin Hooper. Magic 8 Ball says,
You're wrong.
ask me again later. Okay,
This
I will.
8 Ball is just the worst.
I will ask the Magic
So we're
8
all
Ball.
gonna have
ask
bags
later.
over our heads. I don't really get
I'll
this
ask
word.
it
haven't done
later.
it yet.
Marcus, will Chris Godwin be a top 3 receiver in Week 10?
I'm gonna say no, and I think he has a good week against the Arizona Cardinals. But top 3 is kind of tough because I like Michael Thomas this week going against the Falcons. I like Amari Cooper if he's healthy and out there going against the Minnesota Vikings. And plus, look, they're still gonna split targets between Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. I think both those guys will be good, but I think they'll take away from each other enough that neither one of them is going to be a top 3 this week.
I like
right.
that.
And what
So
is
the
your,
Magic 8
what
Ball
does your Magic 8 Ball
says-
say?
Ooh, without a doubt.
All right.
Ooh,
Well,
I got
you
that
and-
one
So
too.
I'm on the line.
You and Magic 8 Ball are simpatico. Now, this goes against my better judgment, where we're going to ask the entire panel here. Will Christian McCaffrey put up 30 fantasy points again this week? Yes or no?
I'm gonna say no. He gets in the
I'm gonna
mid
say no.
20s, but not up to 30.
He's
Shake
going
the
up
Magic
against a
8
tough
Ball. What does the
Packers
Magic 8 Ball
defense.
say?
No way.
No. What are you saying?
No.
Ooh, yes, definitely.
Ooh.
Okay, well, then that's the answer for everybody. So if
If he gets 30.
wait, hold on. I'm going to go with the Magic 8 Ball. I'm going to say yes.
No, it doesn't work that way.
That's the way it works.
Oh,
All
so
right.
We have to ask again
So then
later
he
on
gets
your
40.
Wait,
question.
hold on. What do you agree with?
We have to ask.
Yeah, I'm all good.